Hello, welcome back to Observer System Redux, a remake of Observer. And this is the final level, this is it, this is where everything will be answered. Having said that, in the original version you could get through this, and in the remake you can't for some reason. And I have missed a few rooms. In fact, I've missed every additional room they've added to the game somehow. So there will be another video after this one, even though the ending will be explained. Nanophage quarantine. So there has been nanophage very close by. This is a special sanctuary unit. Our name is Daniel. We are a police officer for Chiron, and basically what we do have the ability of jacking into people in order to see the last moments of their lives, kind of thing, and I guess to find the perpetrator that committed the murder or crime, etc. We're not really allowed to jack into dead people because our mind wasn't created like that. And if we do break that protocol, we're most likely to go insane, as people have done in the past. What we don't know is that someone has jacked into our mind, and this is all a simulated reality. That it kind of happened, but it kind of didn't as well. There's usually a card somewhere around here. I'm not actually sure where, but I've already picked it up anyway. So have a look for it. Now that's the
Good
same.
evening, sir. Welcome to the Sanctuary Salon.
That's the same.
Please state your full name.
That's the same face for Chiron, the one that we saw on the big billboards.
What do you need my name for?
Customer name is needed in order to confirm a reservation.
What is this place?
Sanctuary Salon, established 2074. The salon offers top-quality virtual reality experiences, expertly crafted to meet our customers' needs. Sanctuary, your safe refuge in an unsafe world.
Top quality VR experience, basically.
Daniel Lazarski.
Identity confirmed. Subscription status active. Thank you, Mr. Lazarski. Your capsule is ready.
So when we originally came across this, we were already authorized to go into one. Now, as soon as we enter into this, this is where our mind becomes jacked into. Somebody is able to jack into our mind from this. So at the start of the game, we're not in the car, we're actually in this thing. This is where we are. We've never got out of this. And everything from the car, Adam's bedroom, everything that we've ever seen or played is really coming from here. It's a simulated reality. But at some point, we did go into it. And the person who's jacked into our mind has been sort of using our journey into this to try and dishevel us from thinking that we're in control. I'll explain that a bit in more detail soon. So here we are, we're coming across a person who's really been tapped into our mind from the very start. And this is the world that they've created within the sanctuary. This is where they exist. This is the one that's been calling the shots. Our own son, Adam.
Yes. I know it's hard to believe after all you've seen, but I need you to trust me on this. We don't have much time.
What about the body I found?
It's complicated. What you found wasn't me. not anymore. But I'm here right now, and I need your help.
If you're my son, prove it.
How would I do that?
Just try. Tell me something only we would know.
Mountain hunting.
What?
When I was a child, you would sometimes wake me up before dawn. We'd go down to the river and watch the sunrise together. Hoping for that smog to clear just enough that we could see the mountains. And it never happened. Of course.
But we kept trying, didn't we?
So Adam used to be working for Chiron Inc. And while he was there, he was trying to work out a way of defeating death because his mother had died and he just wouldn't accept it. And the only way what he was trying to do is copy and paste human consciousness, given the fact that we're really just programming. And for some reason, he ends up copying and pasting himself. So, because he's a real copy and paste, of course he has all those intricate memories anyway. But is it Adam, or is it the copied version of Adam?
You were hiding here in the stacks.
Yes. When they terminated my project, I hid where they wouldn't look for me. In time, I found people who were willing to help me. I managed to retrieve most of my data and carry on with my research.
So, Chiron Inc. wasn't interested in Adam's research, and as soon as they found out about his research, they immediately banned him and they withheld all his research. Adam hires Helena Novak, who still works at Chiron Inc., to go in and steal his research or copy it and bring it out. And when she brings it out to him, he then begins to experiment again on the people in the apartment. And again, a lot of his experiments end up failure, and a lot of those people in the apartment die. This is probably why Chiron Inc. banned him in the first place. He may have been experimenting on people back then, and a lot of people died. And Chiron Inc. didn't want the bad reputation, so they immediately banned him and tried to wash it under the rug, sort of thing.
What were you working on?
Imagine if all your thoughts, your memories, everything that defines you could be transferred into a digital realm, to exist long past your physical body, beyond limitations, beyond sickness and death.
Beyond being human. Just to keep existing. Sounds like a living nightmare.
You haven't changed, have you? I knew you wouldn't understand, but you will. Soon. I promise.
So he's saying we haven't changed because we grew up, as Daniel, we grew up with anti-technology, anti-augmentations, anti-trying to improve life, and Adam was the exact opposite. He was embracing it. He thought this was the next evolution.
Helena saved your research and smuggled it out of Cairo.
Yeah. So we got her killed.
Yes, and Amir too.
It wasn't a part of the plan, but I had to. The project was too important, Dad.
What about the surgeon? What was his angle?
Yeah, Jack. He admired what I was trying to accomplish. Actually, I think he wanted to be me.
So, everyone who was part of this experimentation has died. Helena Novak, Amir that supplied all the drugs, not Herbert Ono, Jack Kansas, the guy who was doing the operations. They were all killed by the splicer, which he's kind of going to claim was the doing of Chiron.
I still don't see how the splicer fits into all this.
He doesn't. That's why we didn't see him coming. He was an unforeseen factor. A convenient tool.
So he's saying that it was Chiron. This isn't true. There's going to be another twist at the end, right at the end, and we're going to see that. But that's what he's claiming, which doesn't make sense because the splicer was after us, and were not part of the operation, as far as we know.
When did you become this digital ghost?
When the splicer came for me, I had to improvise. Managed to get out before it was too late, hoping they couldn't follow me into the web.
But they could.
They came after me with a virus, a hunter-killer algorithm. It's eating through my defenses. If they break down, I'll be gone for good.
How can we stop it?
We can't. Tried masking my signature, but it was too late. If I could bust out of the building's internal network, I might be able to outrun it.
So we need to lift the damn lockdown.
The source of the signal is well protected. It's like the mother of all firewalls. Which leaves us only one option.
A manual override.
That's where you come in.
Okay, so he doesn't go into detail. He's saying that the splicer, he was aware that the splicer was after him. And when the splicer traps him, he performs the experiment of himself because he knows he's done for, and he copies and pastes his consciousness into the building's network. Now, once they realized what he had done, they then sent a virus after him into the network as well. And we kind of saw that in Adam's bedroom. If you remember, we sort of looked at the monitors and saw a virus that was in the system. And this virus is what triggered the lockdown. Now, when the lockdown happened, it trapped him from getting out. He's stuck in there, and what he needs is us to do a manual override and lift the whole situation so that he can then transfer out of the building's network.
Where does the signal come from?
I couldn't pinpoint the exact location, but I've narrowed it down. Seems to have originated in the adjoining building.
The high-rise?
Yeah, I think it's the epicenter of all this madness. Signal appears to be coming from the upper levels. And Dad? Watch your step. Chiron still has control over that place. And you.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that's what you think. The more you struggle, the harder they try and get into your head.
Oh, this just keeps getting better.
Darkest before dawn. Which reminds me, once you get out, follow the light.
Okay, so the fact that we're a police officer working for Chiron, so he's stating that Chiron really has control over us anyway. Now, we think we're getting out of this machine. We're not. We never get out of this machine. Again, we're in a simulated reality situation. And getting in the machine, we don't know how many others from the apartments are in these machines. We don't know how many conscious people are also here. We perceive that there's no one, that they're empty, but what if they're all full of the different people from the apartments? What happens if they're all in here? And the other thing is, like we were trying to explain this, when it comes to multiple personalities, only one personality can be in the focus. So we often think that consciousness is based on the whole human brain. But when people come out of a coma, they don't access their whole entire brain. Memories that are very complicated, that are time-stamped, that are geographically stamped. Those complicated memories aren't usually accessed by people coming out of comas. The people that come out of comas usually access very easy memories, so they might speak a language that they once learnt but never used, and so forth. So consciousness doesn't seem to be a whole entire brain because we're still conscious. It might be a component inside the brain. Now, this component, so our brain, our network, might hold various personalities, but only one of the personalities can be in focus at any given time. A personality might be aware of another personality, but again, only one personality. Now, there is a card over here. I've already picked it up. So what's been happening all this time since we started is someone is trying to get into move our focus. Remember, like Pieta and Paulina, that copy and paste experiment, it was to try and merge the two, but one dominant attitude was pushing the subservient attitude out, the subservient personality, and Pieta was moved to a toy. The same sort of thing is happening here. Now, what he's saying is that Chiron's trying to do the same thing to us. Now, we've seen Sanctuary as part of a VR experience, and they're apparently at the top of the building in kind of the chapel side of things. There was a hotel that you could stay in while you were experiencing, because people would travel from a long distance. That is brilliant. I was expecting lasers, and like seriously, that was like Resident Evil, the movie. And what we're looking at now is the again, you can look how beautiful the reflections, everything. It's amazing. There's a card here, but I've already picked it up. Like, it's just the visual detail is outstanding, absolutely brilliant. 10 out of 10 to Bluebird for their atmosphere. So again, this is connected to Chiron, this hotel unit. And what we're about to go into is where... Now remember, again, we haven't got out of that chamber. We're still in the chamber. And remember I said other people might be in the chambers as well. And this is there's two possibilities. One, that all these chambers are filled with different people from the apartments, and there's a mass merge of consciousness on a level that we can't even comprehend. The other possibility, because we've jacked into everyone before we got here, and we're now treated to a contaminated version of events given to us by Adam, that fragments of us, our memories of jacking into people, have become merged in this reality since we've jacked into so many different consciousness. So either it's fragments of other people, or there's a lot of people that are in these chambers, and it's just a big mass merge of consciousness. Now here we have what's going to be our first nanophage victim.
It really is the fucking phage. Okay. You've been exposed anyway.
So remember we said that Daniel was probably contaminated with the phage, that book that says Nanophage and I. And we've got a memory here saying that the phage was real, that it was the phage in the beginning. The phage was an electronic as much as a biological virus. So it was an electronic virus that taught the augmentations to reject the body, which then produced a biological version of the virus as well, which kind of had flu-like symptoms. So it was both. Now these are chambers where people, digital decay, remove your implants. This is part of the people that saw the phage as augmentations as the enemy. Daniel was part of that notion. He was very anti-augmentations. Now listen to the voice here.
Is someone out there? Help me, please.
That's Pieta. Undoubtedly Pieta. And we have Pieta inside a chamber, which is interesting because we know Pieta's really in Herbert Ono's place.
What's going on here? Why are you people in capsules?
They've locked us in. Those bastards. We're not even sick. Let us out.
How do I open the capsules?
I think there's a control room nearby. Just follow the light.
I'll do what I can.
If you can't help me, please. My son is still out there. His father, he's gone insane, delirious. I'm afraid he might do something to our boy. You can't let that happen.
If I can find him, I'll get him out.
Thank you. You've always been such a good boy.
What did you say?
So this is starting to get very, very weird. And remember I said that, I'll actually talk about that later on. Helena Nova had, like Herbert Owner was working on a secondary Helena Nova. Is that the case here? Was there more than one Pieta? Was there another version of Pieta as well? I'm not sure, but we definitely have, again, that consciousness of Pieta, and I think we're going to find out the connection of Pieta real soon. And again, we're in this simulated reality, saying that we're all in chambers, that we've got quarantine, we've got nanophage. Evidently it did interfere. And that was a murder. So is there...
Daniel? Daniel, please come out. It's time for our talk. Ow! Get back here, you little shit! Don't just stand there, get after him!
Dr. Lannis, your suit.
What? No. Get me a... What the hell are you doing? I'm ordering you. Let me out of here, you bitch!
Now, for some reason, maybe even as a child, Daniel had the nanophage from his father. Not sure. But the person who was treating us as a child in the asylum actually then got contaminated.
I want this entire floor purged.
Sir, some of the patients are still symptom-free.
For now, we need to cut our losses. I'm not losing all my subjects out of some misguided sense of empathy.
Actually, that voice, I can't picture it. That guy who's... Yeah, it sounded like someone that we've already come in contact with. That doctor. So there's a card there, but I've already picked it up. These were the rooms that we were in while we were getting quarantined, and because of the outbreak, even those that weren't sick were already automatically detained, cleansed, out of fear, I guess, to some degree. Now, as you can see, the story's getting deeper and deeper, and it goes to a whole new level real soon. And now we come across the nanophage champion, the one that I already stipulated is really Adam's version of us. This is how Adam sees us. He sees us as a monster, and we'll explain why soon. There's an achievement if you don't get hit by the die at any time, so I'll try and get through it. You can go in there, but it just comes out here, so no real point to doing that. And I don't have any of my special abilities. I can't press Q or E. I don't have the flashlight to brighten up anymore. as I said again, which further iterates that I'm in a catered illusion. Having said that, I was kind of in that before. Better go in here just in case. Now, this one changes slightly to the original. You'll see him come past, but he does get stuck as well. I risked that. I think he gets caught. He gets caught in that corner. Might not sound caught anymore. But if you go on the right hand side there will be another card that you can collect. I think there's another card down there too. There's no point because they don't really add, and I've already collected them. They don't really add to the story anyway. A class is a lie, which is again interesting as part of the suicide victim that was in the original that we never came across, but I believe that suicide victim is in a special room somewhere. So as I said, there will be another video, even though we're going to witness the end real soon. I have no idea where I am actually. Kind of lost now. Okay, so basically what we're waiting is for him to appear over there. As soon as he does that, we need to make a run for it, and you'll get away from getting killed. So this is where we've gone through the, I guess the simulated hotel, or the network, projected network. We've really been traveling on the inside mentally through the network to come to the control mechanism, the override button. As soon as we switch the override, it technically opens up for any signal to get out. There's a card on the other side or over there before you press this as well. I think this is going to be a picture of us slamming our what?
Run!
That was the voice of Piera as well. So we're gonna move now. It's coming. Move. Okay. And you can see how this was. I think you can just move underneath there anyway. You can see how this whole thing is Blade Runner inspired. Now here is another card. In the original you could just move underneath all these, but in this one you kind of have to start, moving all these stupid things out. And you will be able to get a card on the corner in that area. But it doesn't add to the story. It's just a special Easter egg where the developers gave themselves nanophage. And I always said there should be a website where you can give yourself nanophage. Just, I think it'd be cool. Kind of reminds me of Aliens too. Now again, we're coming back to everything's going to go dark and sinister. We're going to go into the Ripper Clinic sort of organ farm characteristic soon for the forest. Now, you probably I've said that this isn't supernatural, and it's not, because we're simulated inside a chamber. And the reason why all these yucky organ farms and simulations, and sometimes very occasionally it might seem spooky enough to be supernatural, is because Adam is trying to get inside our mind as the dominant. And if he can unhinge us, if he can make us believe that we're the subservient personality, then he can gain complete control and push us out completely, sort of like Pieta and Paulina. And this is what, in fact, he's been doing. He's been doing this using his vision of us as the nanophage monster. And this is really going to come into fruition soon. So we were in some sort of accident.
There must have been a misunderstanding. I was told you decided not to undergo the augmentation procedure.
Yes.
Just to be clear,
Oh, no.
you do realize that drastically decreases your chances of recovery?
I made my decision. Thank you.
So this is our wife. She could have lived if she had an augmentation. We convinced her not to do this because of our fear against augmentation.
I'll be there for you.
Our wife does not survive. She dies.
You owe me this much. Promise me you'll take care of him.
On her dying
Whatever it
breath,
takes.
she says, "You look after Adam no matter what. I've done this for you."
That night you and Mom argued, after you left, Mom was very sad. I asked her what was wrong and she said the doctors could cure her, but she wasn't sure if she wanted them to.
It's not that simple. What the doctors wanted to do, there was a heavy price to be paid. She wouldn't be herself. She wouldn't be your mom anymore.
Even Adam,
That's
as
not what I'm asking.
a young
I want
child,
to know, did Mom decide for herself? Did she really want this?
knew that it was
Of course
really
he did.
our fear that caused our
Your
wife's
mother
death.
believed she was strong enough to beat this thing on her own. I did too.
But she wasn't. I just wanted her to be alright. Why didn't you save her? It should have been you.
And from that point on, Adam had a hatred against us, blaming us for the one who really killed his mother. Because of our selfishness, our fear into augmentations.
Jesus, there's barely anything left of him. Can he hear us?
Yes, but he's very weak. Please, make this brief.
That's Pieta. She was a
Dad,
nurse at our
it's pretty
operation.
bad. They need to replace a few parts.
Oh,
Which makes sense because she was in District A. So Pieta
Whoa!
was there.
Easy there. Listen, it's either this or spend the rest of your life in a fucking jar.
no.
Think of your kid. Who's gonna take care of him? What is it, Dan?
maybe because of
30 cc's of cortisone stat. I need any non-medical staff out of here.
Hang in there, buddy. They're gonna fix you up real good.
some sort of operation, maybe because of some sort of accident, maybe because of nanophage, a majority of our body had to be transferred into augmentation, and when given the choice, we said yes, because of that dying wish that we granted of our wife, who said that we would look after our son. So we flipped, we did a total 360 on our stance against
You're
augmentation.
such a fucking hypocrite and you don't even see it.
I thought I was right. Didn't know any better.
You stood on principle when it was her life on the line. But when it comes to saving yourself, you're pragmatic all of a sudden?
I had to take care of you. I made a promise to her.
No, you don't get to use her as an excuse. Not after what happened.
What did you want me to do? Give up?
That's what you made her do. Every time I look at you, I see this monster that killed my mom.
This might be how we really look, but we just project ourselves as Daniel. But this is definitely how Adam sees us.
Finally understand.
He sees us as a monster. The fact that we were willing to let our wife die, and then we became a hypocrite at the last moment, and changed and allowed augmentations done on us just so that we could survive. So you can understand why Adam would hate us as much as he did. Now, when Adam copied and pasted himself, he copied everything. So his intricate memories and his psychotic attitude. Remember that Adam was willing to sacrifice other people for the greater good, and that sociopath was also copied.
Adam, what the hell is this?
The core. You made your way here. Now let me in.
Let you in? What about the lockdown? The virus?
The virus will get to me no matter what. Here, or out in the web. It's only a matter of time.
You need a place to hide.
I need a host. A unique specimen. Detached from the web at large.
So this is the genius plan. Because we're a police officer, we can't be scanned. It's illegal to jack into someone that's of the A district, or into a fellow police officer. And what he's hoping is to transfer his consciousness into our body, and that way he can go through all the barriers that Corin has set up to trap this psychotic version of Adam, and while they destroy it with a virus. However, again, he's not being truthful, and there's about to be a flip.
The lockdown was just an excuse to get me. Why lie?
What else could I do? They had you so looped in your repressed memories, I had to break you out somehow. Now that you're finally free, we can beat this thing.
So he was the one that created the lockdown in the first place to call. No, he called the fake. This version called us to the scene. That's right.
A host? I guess that's supposed to be me.
Yes. An observer's mind is isolated, detached from the grid. It's the only place where I can hide. Fortress that the virus won't be able to penetrate.
Let's say I let you in. Then what?
Oh, it's amazing. Our minds will merge.
Merge?
Yeah. It might sound weird, but our minds kind of hook up. We plug into each other.
Sorry, you lost me.
You are losing it. Your sanity's hanging by a thread, Dad. But I can help you regain control of your senses. We can help each other.
And again, he's on there. He's been trying to push us out of the main focus grid all the time. And as I said, the observer can't be scanned, so this is the only way he can get out. And he knows that. That's why he called us to begin with. Even though we don't know how he really called us, as it's all been a simulated reality anyway, catered by him as soon as we jumped into that dream chamber.
I can't trust you anymore. You lied.
Have it your way. It's still up to you. Save us both, or leave me to die and go on with this fevered dream of existence. Either way, since tonight, I'm growing weaker by the second. Soon, I won't be able to maintain a connection.
So this is it. He needs us to jack into him. Now, when we jack into him, we're going to see everything that he is actually hiding from us. This is where we get the actual truth as to what's happening, and only now.
You've done well. You've taken your first steps towards embracing your true nature, towards becoming who you really are. But there's still more to do. Apartment 104. Make it quick.
You killed yourself.
An iteration of myself.
Iteration? Then what are you?
I am Adam.
Which one?
The only one left.
Killed him. Real Adam.
The real Adam? He killed dozens. Iteration after iteration, laid to waste in pursuit of his grand design. Why should one more make a difference?
You're fucking unreal. He was my son.
I am your son. So what if he had the real body? You're clinging to a version of me that hated you. As if that was all that made him. Me. Your son.
So, when Adam copied and pasted himself, he copied and pasted his sociopath ways. Remembering that he's killed dozens, countless of people in order to try and defeat death. And this psychopath version of himself in the real time has that same sense. He realized that the only way of him to survive is that he needed to kill his real self. And his real self realized what was happening, and it was his real self that released the virus into his own bedroom to try and destroy the virtual version of himself. And that's what caused the virtual version of himself to realize that he needed to kill his real self. So he sent the splicer after everyone in the experiment, because there was no way that Chiron, who was against the experiment in the beginning, or Adam, or anyone, would allow this consciousness to exist.
Why? Why did you kill him?
I had no choice. Kill or be killed.
The virus. Adam said it was. You figured out how dangerous you are.
Maybe. Or maybe he realized he had succeeded. He created the superior version of himself, and it terrified him.
So he's saying he's the natural evolution.
The splicer was breathing down my neck. You sent him. Appreciate it.
He was never supposed to go after you, but the drugs and the paranoia took over. After that, well, he went full-on feral.
The mind is not a toy.
Ironic, coming from an observer.
So he sent the kill command to kill himself, to kill Helena Novak, to kill Amur, to kill Jack Kansas, to kill everyone associated with Adam's experiment so that he could best hide. Because it's not really sure at this present point whether Chiron even knows of his existence, because only this guy was created after coming out of Chiron. Chiron was aware of what Adam was working on, but wasn't aware. But maybe they became aware since they might have become aware that the all the information was stolen out of Chiron.
So what the hell makes you better?
He was driven by hatred, obsessed with the idea of not becoming you. He never came to understand. But I did.
Just help me out, man. You're losing me.
We're all freaks of nurture, Dad. Your choices, your mistakes, they were all unavoidable. You can't blame us for what we are.
He's saying you can't blame us for the choices. The choices that you made when it came to your wife are no different from Adam. So I began to forgive you. And I'm a greater person for forgiving you because I accept that's natural, as it is for me.
Why did the others have to die?
I couldn't let any word of this reach Chiron. It would stop at nothing to track me down.
Way to cover your ass.
Think of me what you will. But you know the corporation. They would claim this gift for themselves. I want to share it with the world. I regret what I had to do, but it was necessary evil.
I'm tired. Let's get this over with.
Very well. If you think you're ready to make your choice. Will you let your son die? Or will you save me?
Now we've got two choices here. If we embrace Adam, our minds merge. We're supposed to believe that somehow we'll live together happily with a psychotic Adam, and we just walk out of the hotel, out of the apartment building as the lockdown is lifted. But I like this ending more. It's more gritty. It's just really out there. So we're going to reject him.
My son is gone. I'm not sure anymore who or what you are, but you will pay for what you did.
That's disappointing. I was hoping we could do this the easy way. But since you failed to see reason, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to insist.
And what? Break into my brain?
What do you think I've been doing for the past hour? I've been chipping away at you ever since you got into that capsule.
You're breaking my heart, asshole.
No, Dad. Just your mind.
So remember at the start of the game he said, you're not in control.
I want to live.
Forever and a day. Go to hell.
After you.
He's been pushing us to become subservient ever since. That's why the supernatural, all the stupid stuff that we've been seeing, he's been really telling us that we're not in control. And by doing that, remember how Pietro was able to push Paulina into a toy. He's just pushed our mentality into Rudy the robot that he's been controlling the whole time.
I regret it must end this way. You see, without a willing host, I need to force you out. Fortunately, I have found a better place for you.
And now he's going to disconnect us so that we're stuck there forever. And the psychotic Adam now exists inside our body and is about to walk out. And there's nothing we can do. We're trapped forever. But when the droid gets disconnected, remember that the janitor, I forgot his names now, gets alerted by a signal, and the janitor has come to find out where his droid is, where his maintenance robot is, where Rudy is.
There you are. Bad drone. Bad drawn. Someone did a number on you.
Now, for our luck,
Teach you to walk off.
the janitor is of a
Don't
very
worry.
weak mindset.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
He's repeating himself constantly. He's not there. We're of a
Don't
stronger
worry.
personality in the
All
first place.
Janice is gonna fix you up.
So Janice is about to connect to us, and as soon as he does that, we're able to swap places. We're able to push him out of his one. Now we're going to go back to the moment that Janice is stuck in. He's stuck at the wall when he was hit by when he was ambushed, and he needed to get out of that ambush situation.
Janice. No other way.
And because he was in a quarantine building in lockdown, he felt like that ambush. He was never able to escape that ambush situation, and felt that he was still there. And because he felt that he was still there, we were able to push him out quite easily. And now Janice is inside Rudy the robot, who is stuck. Now we're going to go after the corrupt atom that's inside our body. It's our chance to sort of go out and seek revenge. Now, the corrupt atom who's inside our body isn't going to know that we're inside Janice.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Here you are. The situation is under control.
This is the police. Come out with your hands up. Freeze!
So to the police, it looked like that we were just beating up a fellow police officer, an observer. They don't know that the corrupt atom is inside that guy, and so they shoot us. And as we bleed out...
Wait, checking. I think
there's no guarantee that we're ever going to survive it. We don't know, and that's where the story finishes, on that cliffhanger. Now, there is a sequel, 2084. It was just a game built under the developers gave themselves a challenge to try and make a game within 72 hours, and they used the template of Observer to create another game, essentially. And while it gives us a little, very tiny bit of more information, it shows us basically what a cleaner looks like and what the cleaners do. To cover nanophage, they don't really go into more detail. After that, we're told that there's another game called Raid coming up, which will take the story in a completely different chapter. The Bloober team did sell the rights to make a movie of this, and there's rumours that a movie is in the pipeline. I really hope so. This story really blows my mind. It's so much more superior than Blade Runner. While it starred Rutger Hauer, who's now dead. He was in the original Blade Runner. But just the whole, you're trapped inside a tenement building in lockdown. You've got to solve the mystery. You've got to use the tenants that are left because they're being killed and manipulated. There's a deeper and when you think you've come to understand it, the story goes deeper and deeper and deeper. It just really blew me away. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed it, and as I said, there will be another one because I have missed a few more rooms, so we'll see how some of the other characters fit into the whole overall story. Until next time, bye for now.